Depeche Mode Black Celebration right now on States and Kingdoms.
So we bought this recently.
Very recently.
And we were going to do this review because we never had this on vinyl. And, I really love Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
Talk about that a bit.
Every Depeche Mode album on CD.
And we were going to do the review, and then Andy Fletcher died. And I didn't want to do it right, And that was, just to say, that's pretty shocking.
Yeah, 60 years old. That's very young. So, not sure what happened there.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess they'll carry on, I suppose. I really don't know.
I haven't heard. Looked. Yeah, I haven't actually heard it. I think they were all pretty shocked as well.
You saw them. I've never seen them.
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah, but you saw them.
Yeah, great show. I'm really glad I got to see them live.
Yeah. Anyway, so Black Celebration. Now, Depeche Mode's been a staple in a lot of people's lives, obviously. They've been around for a while, and they had a string of incredible albums.
Yes.
But for us, it's really one of the first bands I was really aware of.
Yeah. Very early memories of Depeche Mode.
After school at the roller skating rink, and the songs are playing, and you hear Master and Servant, or
People Are People.
And of course, and it just, their sound struck me as
Yeah.
Well, it stood out. It stood out from Love Shack, and it stood out from Rome. Not that those are bad songs or anything. Those are great songs, but
Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, that too. But it really stood out, and it always stuck with me. And then
Grooves in the Heart.
Right. Okay. And then, of course,
Rio.
Well, that's great.
I know.
Anyway, whatever. No, but
Memories. I'm done, sorry.
They have had a big impact on me, and it makes it difficult to talk about. It's difficult to be objective in any way, so I'm probably not going to be.
It's hard to separate yourself with something that's just always been there and you've always really loved, and Depeche Mode's been there.
And this album, though, of course, we sort of skipped over because we're talking about 90, basically, 90, 91. So really the album that hit was Violator, and that is the album. That's the album that people our age, I'm sure
they enjoy the silence
they
a
would
lot.
Point to that one as the one that got them. Anyway, but this album's always been fascinating because it's sort of it's the beginning of that sound to me.
No, totally. This album marks the beginning of what would be Depeche Mode's really solidified sound. It's all coming together, and Martin Gore's writing is just really expanding, and
a lot of what's on here they would continue to work on to develop over the next several years.
Dave Gahan's singing sounds great. He's really stepping into that, and I think he just sounds really confident, and his vocals are getting more nuanced, and yeah. So let's look at the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Black Celebration, title track. Great opener.
Black Celebration opens, with a very ambient electronic beginning.
Yes.
It opens with a beginning. Begins with an opening.
In the beginning, there was the beginning.
It really, listening to it, trying to be more objective, more critical, whatever, I hadn't ever really focused on just how much more kind of like a Tangerine Dream or something sound the song has.
It really does.
Quite different from the last album for them, It's way more ambient.
Yeah, it's really atmospheric. The synth sounds themselves are pretty reminiscent of something like Tangerine Dream, and
just electronic music.
Real varied sounds, and it's just the pace and everything is just kind of moody in like the atmospheric sense.
So it has kind of a funereal dirge-like kind of quality to it, and the lyrics have the same. It's definitely, yes,
We're celebrating.
moody. They're celebrating, yeah. But it's a great song. I mean, it sets the tone for the album, and it kind of gives you an idea of just how this is going to be. It's going to be different.
Mm-hmm. Fly on the Windscreen. Final. I've always loved this song. It's probably my favorite song on the album.
It's a good 1-2 punch too. It sticks with the tone of the album, but it's got more rhythm, obviously, and it sounds like so many, like the blueprint for so many things that would be coming.
Yeah, agreed.
He sings it just. God, I don't know. For me, it's just something so familiar about like his voice is so familiar, and so many of these melodies and the way they construct their songs is just like Yeah,
I think it's definitely the most forward-looking track.
I know. I know the lyrics are it's like death, and but the song it just makes me happy.
Death is everywhere.
Yeah.
I know. No, it is a very up song somehow. There have been periods of my life where I've listened to this song over and over again on repeat, and I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really very happy.
I'm very up.
A Question of Lust, I always thought was a beautiful ballad. Martin Gore.
And that's the other thing about the album. There's so many ballads on this, and he sings so much, and it really sets it apart from the previous album. But the main thing, and none of the ballads are the same. I mean, like they don't have the same sound. So,
no.
A Question of Lust is, well, it's a really great song. It's incredibly catchy. Of every song on this album, I think that's the one that gets stuck in my head the most. Even if I haven't listened to this album in a long time.
Very easy melody.
Yeah, it's really just a really great song. I mean, he has such an incredible knack for melodies that, it's almost like you've heard them before. They seem familiar, but they're not derivative.
Mm-hmm.
There are some songwriters that can do that. I mean, I think Irving Berlin.
I thought I was like Gershwin.
Well, no, Irving Berlin though, or I think John Sebastian could do that. I mean, these songs are just like they just go right into you,
Yeah.
And he really has a knack for that. And this song it's really such a beautiful melody.
Yeah, and at this point, I feel like he's really coming into his own as a lyricist and starting to just be a little more honest and open, and so there's a real like naive honesty. I feel like in a lot of these songs.
There's a vulnerability that he's showing in honesty, and that's fantastic. That's really just it's wonderful. It's really wonderful. Not hiding. Mm-hmm. Just being honest. I mean, that's why he's so good.
Yeah. Sometimes. His voice in the background, repeating the lines and everything, really makes it far more dramatic. And there's a lot of drama on this album. Not just with the vocals, but the whole song. That's also I think something that they always do so well. I mean, there's a lot of angst in Depeche Mode songs, and it sometimes isn't always. It's not just coming from the singer. No, all of the music is actually like balanced, and there's that the tension.
Yeah. Really unique.
Well done, Depeche Mode. It doesn't matter to another Martin Gore sung led ballady.
It's ballady is sort of it, because
it's not a straight ballad. It's got the.
I mean, we said ballad
sounds.
To describe this, and I don't know how else. It's not exactly. It's a Depeche Mode ballad. Like sometimes is a ballad, but it's still like a truncated one. I don't know. It's like. But this is really interesting. I really like. I love the synth sounds on this. I like how at the end, every time I think that there's something wrong with the record.
Why? What does it do?
It slows down.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah.
Well, it starts to slow down every time. I'm like, oh right, yes, of course.
Death.
I don't know. It's just a really good song.
Yeah.
And
nice melody. A Question of Time. This is probably the most upbeat song on the album. I think it's probably the fastest, right?
It's a little, I don't know, yeah. I mean, it's a really great song to open side two. You know, it really kind of gets you moving every time. And lyrically, well, not the happiest of lyrics, but...
Are any of them?
Not really.
It's just a question of time, folks.
That's just a great song, though. I think, you know, it has...
It's got it's got this energy.
It does, and, you know, it's the thing that they could do. It's like, it's dancey. It's certainly dancey, and I'm sure he would be dancing while this is playing. But dancey hardly does it justice.
No. I love how like the music stops. And then, like, you know, the little tiny breaks, pauses.
We've said this before, rock and roll is dance music. I love bands that are able to give substance to the song, but keep the danciness.
Yeah.
Keep the rhythm.
That's one thing. I mean, Depeche Mode does that over and over again. The rhythms are there, and you never think like, oh, like this is like so light and fluffy, and you know, like, I mean, it doesn't matter.
But you're dancing.
But you're dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the best rock music is.
You know, like, death is all around, or whatever. You're like, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Okay. Stripped. Stripped is a nice song. It's a nice song.
I would say the thing about Stripped is it's like the sound of the 90s to me so much. They had such an influence. And I know, of course, the influence on heavier music is very obvious, if nothing else, through, you know, Nine Inch Nails. And
it's obvious to some.
You know, and you just hear a lot of anything that had like an electronic-y sound, whether it's from like Korn or even
with a little bit of pathos,
you know, kind of sounds like Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
And obviously Ministry also.
Oh.
But anyway, yeah, it's just this Stripped. Not only does it sound like just like pure Depeche Mode, but I hear echoes of it, and you know, not just that song, a lot of these songs, but I hear echoes of that.
Yeah, and Dave sings this song great.
A lot of other things.
Great lead vocal.
Mm-hmm. It's a good lyric. Mm-hmm. It's actually one of the best, I think, the best lyrics on this.
Yeah.
For me.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's a little more evocative. Here is the house. I know you think.
Well, it just sounds like the most Smithsy Depeche Mode song. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean a thing.
I hear that now that you said it.
It's a good song, World Full of Nothing.
World Full of Nothing.
It's a very emotional song.
Yeah, another slow, kind of pleading song.
There is raw emotion on this album. I just keep reiterating, but it's really true. I find it... that is Depeche Mode, but I find it really interesting that I've listened to this and I know that, but I sort of had it hadn't
listening to it.
It hadn't registered just how much emotion, just how much vulnerability Martin Gore is writing into these songs. And you know, he's 24, 25 at the time. I mean, you know, they're really good.
They're really good.
I'm just, you know, yeah, I think he did better.
But these are really good.
These are really good.
And that's also, that's what's so fun about Depeche Mode, is that balance between the electronic music and the rhythms and like the atmosphere, and then these, you know, really kind of heavy, emotional, honest lyrics.
Yeah,
it's just a great mix.
It lends to the electronic nature of the music a warmth, a vitality that you could be missing.
Yeah, because there's
it's
nothing
not robotic.
Cold. Yeah, there's nothing cold about these songs.
Dressed in Black.
Dressed in Black.
It does remind me of Babies in Black a little bit, because there is that. I mean, not melodically, but the lyrics.
Lyrically.
But
it's another slower.
Yeah, a little bit. I like the refrain a lot.
The chorus that comes. all dressed in black again? Or do you like the...
No, I like that too.
Okay.
No, but just the refrain, just the, you know, what can you do? And she's, you know, just like, just that.
It goes, it's like a ascending, descending kind of.
I just like the refrain.
And I agree. Mm-hmm. So our album ends with New Dress.
Also really interesting lyrically. You know, I think it's fair to say that this album
is a little more upbeat too.
Yeah. It's got a nice beat and you can dance to it. Mm-hmm. But I think it's fair to say that this is like what they would be working on for forever.
Yeah.
You know, like
still.
As really good as the album before this is, and it is really good, great.
Yeah.
You know, this is like, yeah, and not even in like embryonic form or anything. It's
fully formed.
It's all here, and they would continue to develop it, and you know, in every respect.
Yeah, come up with new, distinct, awesome melodies.
I can't consider this anything but just of course, an absolute classic. And if you want to talk about influential, I mean,
hell yeah,
it's one of the most influential albums of the '80s. Anyway, hopefully they recover from Andy Fletcher's death.
Yeah.
And
I really hope they continue because
they're not done.
They've still been putting out really great albums. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a blow though. So yeah, hopefully.
We'll see what happens. So let us know what you think in the comments below of Depeche Mode and Black Celebration. Hope you liked our discussion. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And we'll have more videos coming up Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays here at States and Kingdoms. So see you next time, and enjoy your Memorial Day.